Hi. It's been a minute. It's been. Actually, I don't know how long it's been. You should probably have looked that up. Not that it matters. I mean, hi. I don't know if I'm rusty at this or just nervous. But you might remember me. I've been gone for quite some time. Needed to deal with reality, I guess. The reality being that it's been almost a year since we lost my mum, and there's still a pandemic going on. You know, the usual. So, have you been? It's Sunday. It's the beginning of January. It's 2022. I would say that I'm still working from home, but as of tomorrow, that's not true. We are getting an intern, and I'm responsible for him. And it didn't feel right to not show up and show him the ropes every day when we ask of him that he has to be there every day. So the next 2 months I'll be going into work more or less every day. I'm okay with it. I haven't been in the office since December 1st, and before that I was only there maybe 2 times a week since August. So yeah, I can't remember not working from home. It's getting to that point. In all the time we haven't been together, I've still been knitting, not as much as I would have liked to. The same with sewing. But one, I can't remember what I shown you and what I haven't, and I hate looking at myself, so that's not going to happen. Uh, and yeah, so I decided instead of showing you an FO parade, I might wear something on one of these podcasts. I might not. And I'm just going to show you my latest finished objects, what I'm working on, and we'll build it from there. Now, the elephant in the room. I am wearing a Sew Over It pussy bow blouse. It's my first time making it, and I've made the high, is it view A? It's the one with the ties up at the collar instead of down here somewhere. And I didn't mark it. I misread the instructions. Let's just put it like that. So I made this part wrong, and then I stretched it out, and I mean, this is partly because it's being pulled by the tie. I don't care. I don't care. If anyone's going to be looking that closely at my neckline and think that it's anything other than being on a living body, you have a problem. Or you're a sewer. Either way, it's okay to not comment on it. So I've made full-length sleeves, as you can tell, because it just feels like a full-length sleeve thing. Right now I'm wearing it tucked down into a pair of high-waisted Pietra pants. Pietra pants are from Closet Core patterns. I have several of them. They are meant for a woven fabric, but as you can tell, this has stretch in it. So this is actually a size down from what I would make in a more firm fabric. And yes, it is corduroy, and yes, it looks like I'm turned them different ways. I haven't. It's just the look of the corduroy. So yeah, that's what I'm wearing. The fabric for this is from City Stuffer. Fell in love with it the instant I saw it. Actually purchased some for a dress, and then thought that it would look really nice in a pussy bow blouse. And the pussy bow blouse is one of those patterns that I've been like, I don't know, do you want something up here, do you not? Is it really me? And I've seen some really great finished objects that have made me want to make one, and I've seen some like, but I saw, well, I had this fabric, which is a viscose. Is it 100% or is it a blend? I don't remember. And it was cheap. I don't know if you can tell, but it has little birdies and it's just cute. Colourful without being too in your face. And it just looked like a classic piece, and when I started cutting out the dress, I just felt like this has to be a pussy bow blouse, because I saw a really nice version in a print fabric and I was like, So I bought another 2 meters and I made this. I only modified this as far as using French seams throughout, because that's just how I roll. And there is a bit of hand stitching in it, some of it per the pattern, some of it because I wanted a neater finish. You don't have to be as crazy as me, you can just zigzag all the seams. It works fine. So yeah, that's what I'm wearing, and I did say that I cut out a dress in the same fabric, and it's been rolled up since before Christmas. I'm going to go back to it. It's the Charlotte dress, which is still a sew over it pattern, and from what I remember, I have cut out I've cut everything out. I have sewn together, there we go. Just going to roll this down onto the floor. No, I can actually, yeah, I only lost a pattern piece to the floor. It'll need ironing anyway. I have made the bodice, and it's all wrinkly and everything, but it'll give you an idea if I can work out what it is. There we go. Now the Charlotte dress is a faux wrap dress. You can't really tell what's going on here, but I have the bodice for it. I've sewn one sleeve up and the other is where I left off, apparently. Yeah. It'll have a zipper in the back, so that's why it's currently open like this. And it has these 2 lapels that are open. You could close them, but they are open. So I decided to fussy cut this so I could have a bird on each lapel peeking out when I wear it. And the same on the other side, because that just seemed like a cute idea. I have made the Charlotte dress before in a Lady McElroy fabric, and it's If you've seen the is it BBC? It's the English show. Oh, what's it called? Father Brown. There's this aristocratic lady in it. I'm blanking on her name right now, but my other Charlotte dress makes me feel like her, and so I'm hoping this will have some of the same feeling, but slightly more updated, because it's a viscose. It's the Lady McElroy is much more stiff. It's a cotton, so it's more stiff. It has more body, whereas this will be more slinky. So we are moving out of the 50s and into something more 60ish, I suppose. But still with hopefully the same feeling of, I don't know, being fancy. I am not fancy at all or posh, but you know, sometimes it's nice to feel that way. So yeah, that is my sewing project that I'm going to put some love to when I next get behind a sewing machine. My latest finished knitting object is something that I adore, and I've been using it so much since finishing it. There were days between Christmas and New Year's where I was just using it as a makeshift coat when I didn't really need a winter coat, but I still wanted something for warmth. And it is the Trauma julegenser from 247, I think. You can't get the booklet in Denmark at the moment. I say at the moment. I have been unable to find it in Denmark, and I'm not the only one who has found it difficult to get a hold of it. I got mine as a present sent over from Sweden, including the yarn, which is the Mitu, which is a alpaca merino blend, or alpaca wool blend. I'm not sure it's merino. It's nice and soft and sturdy and warm, but not overly warm. And I just love it. I love it so much. As I said, I haven't washed it since it was finished, and it has some stains that I'll try to remove as soon as I discovered them, because I'm a clumsy person who spills things and should not be wearing white at any point in life. So when I do, I often spill on it. And yes, I did put a label in the back, partially because when I was sewing down the collar, I couldn't tell what was the front and the back, so I figured I'd better do that. It is higher in the back than in the front, so yes, I did knit color work back and forth. Not something I like to do, but it had to be done. And as you can see, there's a whole row of hearts in the back that isn't in the front. The pattern says that I should knit this much further than it actually is. I think I shortened it by 5 centimeters, and it's still long on me. And I added one repeat, so 8 stitches I think, so each sleeve in the circumference, which gives me a really nice sleeve. I have seen that the sleeve looks tight on some people, and I didn't want that, and I know I have big arms, so I always have to figure out if I need to compensate for my arms. So yeah, should still have had enough yarn because, like I said, didn't, I mean, the 5 centimeters I didn't knit should not be less than adding 8 stitches to each sleeve. They should be more or less the same. But I still ran out of the white, so somewhere here, and I can't tell you where because I can't tell the difference, I had to substitute in a different yarn that I had in my stash, and I don't actually remember the name of the yarn. And I don't think I put it anywhere what it was. I think I only despaired and tried to come up with a solution and got it presented to me by my stash. I know it was a remnant from something, and I'm thinking it's maybe a filculena, something like that. But yeah, love it. And now I have to, well, I'm going to wash it and then put it away until December. I really like that I can wear it both as a jumper on top of, like, have it over, like, just leave it like this, or wear it tucked into either a skirt or a pair of pants. Gives it a different look whether you do one or the other, but it works equally fine. And because it's so long, it doesn't ride up from your skirt. So that's an advantage. But yeah, really, really love this. Something else I've been working on that isn't finished, but you know, I hope to finish at some point, is my Sireni. Sireni is published by Filculena, and it's by, I have to pass it, I could just look it up. It is by Eva Fibeck. It's this pattern, which at first, because the photos are so dark on the Filculena page, it didn't speak to me. But then I think I saw the Filculena live where they presented all of their collection. Was it their collection or was it just from might have been from a show or something, industry show. Anyway, it has this really interesting scale-like pattern, which, and this is not blocked obviously, it'll be blocked before using it. And also, yes, this will be sewn up, which looks a bit tight right now, but it actually does work out right, I think. This is, as I said, Filculena Sireni, and I am done with the body. And yes, it is made in pieces and sewn up. It is knit in round, or well, back and forth, up until the armholes, and then you knit the back and the fronts separately. The neckband here is an extension of the fronts, so that's why it's not sewn down. I've sewn up the shoulders, and I do like that even with my horrible sewing, you get the symmetry of the pattern on either side of the shoulder. But yeah, the next is sleeves, and sorry, going into work means I will have a commute every day. I have cast on for the first sleeve. It will be a full length sleeve. And the yarn I'm using is Filcolena Avetta, which I think is the same that is used in the pattern. Yeah. I am using this color 352, which is the red squirrel. And so far I have knit the pattern as stated, except for the sleeves. I'm only 10 rows into the sleeves, and I've already made 2 modifications. One, it's supposed to be a very slim sleeve, and as we discussed, I have fat lady arms, so I did the math and decided that I needed to add a repeat, and it'll be perfect for the look anyway. Not just for the look. It'll fit me, and it'll still have the same look the designer went for. The designer chose to do this ribbing as a twisted rib, but there's no twisted rib anywhere else in the pattern. And you have, a substantial ribbing down at the bottom of the cardigan. You have the ribbed front and neckband. None of that is in twisted rib. And I know she wants a tight cuff that fits tightly, but it just throws off the look. So I'm just doing a regular rib, and I'm doing it on the larger needle, I should say, because the gauge on this is 30 stitches, which she uses a 3mm needle for. I'm using a 2.75mm needle as my larger needle, and she's using the larger needle for all of the sleeve. Now, the sleeve band will be plenty fitted on me. There is room, but it is ribbing. It tightens up. So I've decided for ease to just keep with the 2.75mm and just go from there. I have plenty of yarn for this, so there's no risk of running out here. I bought, were they on sale? Was there a small discount or something? So I bought 10 skeins of this yarn, and it calls for, oh, how large are these skeins? 50, it calls for 9. Well, I have plenty of yarn still, so that shouldn't be a problem. What do you know? And a final project I'm working on is also from Alma, like the Julegenser. Insert your own break music here. See, you didn't notice I was gone. It is from the same pattern book, and I told you it was 247. It's 277. It's this one, and the one I've already made is this one, which I fell in love with, cried about not being able to get the pattern, all of that shenanigan. But, well, I don't see myself wearing a children's gnome jumper. There was another pattern in here that caught my eye, if I can find it. Okay, there were two, because I also really like this, but I don't think I want to knit it as a cardigan. I think I want to knit it as a jumper, maybe a short jumper to wear over a dress or something. But this is the other pattern I really liked. I wasn't feeling the color scheme. And I don't know how Charlotte, also known as this lazy lady, and I got to talking about it, but why do the hearts have to be only two colors? There could be multiple colors, or, as I kind of got into my brain, they could be speckled. So I thought about it, and I am attempting to. I lost my yarn ball. Come here. Go. I am attempting to mostly knit from stash, because I have a stash that's just too. I don't know what's in it. Some of it is not really my taste or my interest anymore, and I need to get rid of that, you know, at some point when I work up the energy to do it. But I remembered that I have this really nice white base speckled yarn, which is a fingering, so I'm holding it double. This is by Bullepik on her merino, and it's a quite subtle speckle. I think it's called Summer Butterfly Rainbow, something like that. I'll make sure to find the tag before next time. So the idea was that at a distance it'll probably read more white, and then closer you get to see the subtle pastel-y speckles. That was the idea. And as the base color, I'm using this, which is from Hjelholt Uldspinderi. It is their Grasgarn. Now, I grew up not too far from Hjelholt, but I've never been. I mean, we've driven past it so many times, and I've looked at the sheep that's running around in the field next to the place, and that's just some of their sheep. They have sheep all over the south of Funen, and this yarn is only from their sheep. It's not from anywhere else. Their other yarn is spun up with fiber from different sheep and so on. This is their own grass-fed sheep, and it's not buttery soft, but it is softer than their håndverksgarn. So a bit rustic, a bit toothy, but still soft. And the end product looks like, if I can get it. The end product looks like this. As you can see, there's some subtle speckles, some are Some are more obvious at a distance. It's blue and white, which is actually a color combination I was considering. Yeah, I just think it's really lovely to have these little speckles just poking through, having a bit of fun, and I only have to think about keeping two, well, two strands. It is actually three, but two strands, keeping them separate and making sure I catch everything, I catch my floats and everything. The blue is a tiny bit thicker than the two strands of white, but I think it works. Now, I am not sure I have enough of this. I have 3 skeins of this. Ideally I should have a bit more than 3 skeins, but I have a leftover skein of something else, a DK weight white speckle. I am blanking on what it is. It is probably Unicorn Party by Suslerud. It's not probably, it is Unicorn Party by Suslerud. And I made a lacy jumper out of it. And yeah, it's not the same colors, but depending on what the situation looks like when I get further up the body, I might do a couple of rows of the hearts using that instead. We'll see. I'm just chugging along right now. It is on a 4.5mm needle. The good thing about knitting knitting 2 patterns from the same pattern book, which is built up on using one yarn, the Mitu, Farmer Mitu, is that it's all knit at the same gauge. So knowing what my gauge was or what needle I needed to use for my Julegenser, I didn't have to swatch. I know I should have different yarns, but yada yada yada, but it works out. And it's okay if it's not tight fitting, and it's also okay if it is tight fitting. I can go either way with this. But as I said, gauge is working out okay on this with these 2 yarns. Of course it is on a too small needle to show you that it's actually fits, but it does. And I am 1 row from completing the first repeat. I need 4, almost 5 repeats of this. You have the slightly smaller hearts and then the slightly bigger hearts that you repeat. I need nearly 5 of those to complete the body. Then you knit the sleeves and you do a raglan decrease. I'm not sure if I'll take it as far up the neck as the pattern says, because it goes pretty far up the neck. I might only do half of that. The Julegenser should also have had the same high-ish neck, but mine is only half of that. It also gives for a more open neck, which I prefer over the tighter neck that it's designed with. So yeah. We shall see. It is a doubled over collar, so I can't just knit half the length, test it out, and see if I want to knit more or less. Not less. More or stay where I am. And it is, interestingly enough, the torso for this is shorter than this. So I'm wondering if maybe the lady size in this for the Julegenser is actually a misprint. No, the male size is really long as well. Because the Julegenser was supposed to be 47 centimeters before the sleeves, and this is supposed to be 40 centimeters, which is a much more normal length. It's still a long jumper. I think this is 40. I ended up making this 42. And it could probably be 2 centimeters shorter without compromising anything. So yeah. Hopefully I finish this before it gets too warm to actually wear it. I might wear it as a spring jacket. Who knows? And that is actually everything. And I don't know how long we've spent talking. And I know it's been rambly, but I'm back. Maybe that's just what we'll take from this. I'm back. I don't know how often I'll upload. It won't be every week, because as I said, I'm going back to working in the office full time, at least the 3 next weeks, and most likely more or less full time after that, the 5 weeks after that. Depends on our intern. He has to make an exam paper as well, and there's some other stuff he has to go through, so we shall see. Anyway, I will see you when I next see you, and I hope you've been well, and I hope you have a great week, fortnight, month, whatever it'll be before I see you again. Bye.